Hey kids, what's happening?
Hey, beautiful people. Good to see you. I hope you all have a good weekend.
We're going to give you a little update on V's health situation here. She's been battling cancer since
Last October, it's been almost a year.
almost a whole year. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
And look at her, she's doing really good. She's still
Some
smiling,
days,
anyways.
some days are better than others.
And I can vouch for that. We've had some very rough days, and we've had some very good days. When this first started, we were like, oh boy, this isn't good, and they told her she had small cell cancer in her lungs. And I don't know if you know a whole lot about cancer. There's many different types of cancer, but small cell cancer
Is the worst.
it is the worst.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when they told us that,
Your mind immediately goes to a bad place when they tell you you have the worst cancer. It's aggressive, it spreads quickly.
so we thought the end was near, and we went luckily to a good doctor that's local, part of the Cleveland Clinic system.
Hmm.
I think we've been very pleased with that.
Hmm.
We've got a really good doctor, and he has taken really good care of Val. Went through a lot of chemo.
Yeah, I had 6 months worth of chemo, but prior to that, I had radiation to the brain.
So after the chemo and everything, she recovered, and that was a long haul. But now they've got her on what they call immunotherapy, and she has to get the IV with the medicine every 3 weeks.
Yes. Hmm.
And that's been fending off the cancer. But what happened here recently?
Well, I had scans done July 1st, and they were questionable. The technician that read them said there was a possible new nodule in the lung and a possible nodule on the thyroid. So when I met with my oncologist, he said, well, I don't see any progression of disease. It could have been the way those machines are very touchy, and it could have been the way that you were positioned on the table as opposed to the previous scan. It goes, we'll just wait. I don't see anything wrong here. So then, my next visit with him in 3 weeks, he said, you know what? Let's do a scan. So he sent me for a scan the end of August, beginning of September. I think it was September 1st. And the scan came back showing growth in the nodule, very slow growth in my lung. And when we met with him, he called immediately the radiation oncologist and told me, I'm sending you for radiation. He said, we will zap that.
The nodule in her lung is what they call the primary source of the cancer. So, in other words, that's where it originated
Hmm.
in the top of her left lung.
And being that it's in the lung, that is what supplies the blood, it supplies the oxygen to the body, and that's how it spreads through that tumor.
Yeah, so when this started, the cancer was all through her whole body. And now it's not evident anywhere else but
Except,
in her lung. So they're going to zap it with radiation, and that's going to start next week. Um, how many treatments are you going to get?
I have to get 10.
So she gets zapped 10 times. Now, yesterday we went in and they tattooed her.
First, they did a 4D CT scan, and the way it was explained to us, the doctor will take that scan done yesterday and put it over top the PET scan so he can see what area. I guess there's another tumor beneath, and my oncologist asked the radiation oncologist just do that whole area so he gets both of those lung tumors.
Yeah. So yesterday she went in and got her tattoos, and Well, let's see your tattoos. So there's the tattoo. Now, that the green part is actually washable marker, but the one little black dot right in the middle, that is the tattoo.
I think it's strange to call them tattoos because they're just dots. They gave me three dots. And how they did it was, of course, they cleaned with alcohol. They put some ink on my skin, and I felt a pinch, which they told me I would. And the ink stays under the skin. So, three black dots, one on each side and one under the sternum.
So it kind of looked like little tiny moles, if not anything else.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even notice them unless you were looking. And they know exactly where to look to find these things, and that's where they will aim their radiation equipment, their laser beam, however they do it. That's what they'll use as a site. So I can't say that we're looking forward to it, but next week starts radiation, and
Well, the radiation oncologist told us a study was done with a group that had this procedure. They had chemotherapy and then they had radiation to the spot. And then the other group just had chemotherapy. With the group that had both done, there was a couple years more survival.
that's a good thing. That's a real good thing because they're
Mm-hmm.
giving us hope for a future here now, where originally, boy, we didn't know what to think, but now things are looking much better. So for now, I think she's in pretty good shape. We're going to zap this evil little spot on her lung and get rid of that.
Of course, it comes at a cost. You know, you do have side effects after the radiation. Not as bad as chemo. At least I won't have nausea or vomiting, he said. But the biggest side effect will be fatigue. And after that, he said the second would probably be skin irritation, which I did have after they did my brain. Behind my ears was very rough and raw, and it took a lot of lotion to get it back. So I'm sure I'll have the same where they radiate on my chest and sides.
Yeah.
And he said after 5 to 6 months you could develop a cough because you're so close to the bronchial area there and you get inflammation. So depending on the inflammation dictates whether you get the cough.
Yeah. Yeah. So we hope for the best in all this. We appreciate everybody's prayers and everybody's support.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, you guys have been absolutely awesome to us, and we are so grateful to have friends like you to continue to support us through all of this.
And I'm grateful for such a great oncologist that knows exactly what needs to be done.
You know,
I mean, apparently he was well versed in the study and knew the next step was to radiate it and knock it out.
if you or anybody you know happens to come down with this terrible cancer disease, seek the best help you can find. In our area, it's the Cleveland Clinic. It's top of the line.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't pay to go to a small potatoes
No.
hospital. Uh, we've seen it happen too many times where people have lost the battle because they didn't get the proper care. And it's got to be taken care of immediately. You can't sit around and dilly dally with this disease. So, uh,
And the most important thing, I sound like a broken record, but you have to stay positive. You can't get down in that deep, dark, under the porch place where you're all curled up in a ball feeling sorry for yourself. You just cannot do it.
no, where would that have got us if we would have been doing that all this time? All this precious time wasted, and all the fun things that we've been doing and enjoying our life so far.
Well,
So,
I still talk like in the future, I want to go take the travel trailer and let's go across the country. I want to do this. I want to do that. You know, I don't talk like, well, I'm dying tomorrow, I'll never get to do this, or I'll never get to do that. You can't.
Right. We
You
make
still
plans.
dream and make plans
Mhm.
and carry on with your life.
We look ahead to a great future. And hey, we truly believe that it'll turn out good in the end. So that being said, thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up as always. Like our video, hit the notifications bell, and we'll keep you up to date when our next video is coming out. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, and we'll continue to entertain you with some great videos as we can.
Love you guys. Thank you.